I belong, right here with all of you.
I'm involved in everything creative about the network. I am committed to supporting diversity both in front of and behind the camera.
It's time for television to reflect who the modern Latino actually is. Not who we are believed to be, not who we may have been, but who we are now.
It's a new generation.
On NUVOtv, it's us, front and center. You'll say, that's me, that's my family, those are my friends, just people we recognize and relate to. New stories without stereotypes. We are real stories. We are it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer Lopez.
We can do anything we want, live it up. So live it up, go. And we ain't stopping till we're done, live it up. So live it up.
A couple of little notes. I want to repeat the quote that you just said with conviction at that up front. You said, Latinos are a force in this country, and it's time for TV to reflect who the modern Latino actually is, not who we are believed to be. Can you expand on that? How has TV fallen short?
For me, it's always been about a lot of stereotypes. And even though I think things have changed, you see more Latinos on TV, it's not really a reflection of who the modern Latino is. This is an English-speaking network. There's a lot of Spanish networks. Is that for us?
Yeah.
But this is an English-speaking network for the modern Latino. It's a different thing, and it requires different programming. It requires a very targeted agenda.
Why this? Why now? I mean, you clearly have got so much else going on.
Yes, well, I think when Nuvo first came to me, they came to me maybe just for me to be the face of the network. And when I sat down with Michael Schwimmer and we really started talking, I think he realized I had a lot of ideas about the network and what it should be and programming for Latinos. So my point of view came from my upbringing. You know, I grew up watching Marsha Brady or Rudy Huxtable, but I didn't really see myself. And when I think about growing up in the Bronx and watching TV, I think about, like, once a year, West Side Story would come on. And this movie inspired me so much, you know, to do everything that I've done. And when I thought about Nuvo and the network, I thought, this is a great way to empower and uplift the community, because if I could be inspired by just one movie once a year that my mom had to make sure that we watched, at Thanksgiving it came on, then if you had a cable network that was 24 hours a day with programming that was relatable, where I saw myself, imagine how many people could be inspired and imagine how many things could be done. I saw it as a real opportunity to empower and uplift this community.
So how is your role going to work? Are you going to be there day in, day out?
Well, everybody knows I can't be there day in and day out, but I'm the chief creative officer. So the whole look and feel of the network, I'm involved in creatively. So, you know, marketing and how the marketing looks, how the network looks itself, the programming, the development of the programming, being in distribution meetings and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's a big job, but for me, it's really important, because for me, like I said, it represents something bigger than just television. You know, it represents doing something for this community that has been so underserved for so long.
Talk about those distribution meetings. What were they like?
Eek.
Were they wonky? Was it a little weird?
No, they actually were great. They were very educational for me. You know, I am such a creative person. I come from such a creative slant all the time. I'm always thinking about stories and all that. And the distribution was a totally different thing. But I think what I learned from them was really that everybody's trying to target this community. Everybody's trying to figure it out and crack that nut. And it's not an easy thing, you know?
Huh. How did your celebrity help in those meetings, and how do you think it'll help launch this network?
I think being a celebrity, everybody thinks, okay, bring awareness, which is an obvious thing, and that's true. But I also, you know, I've had 20 years in front of and behind the camera. So one thing that I do bring is relationships. You know, just with our partnership and association, we've already attracted different talent, different, you know, the agencies are willing to work with us in a different way. Just everybody, just directors and writers and all that kind of stuff. It's just, it makes a huge difference. So we're able to kind of be able to boost the programming and boost the quality of the programming in a way that hasn't been done before for this community.
When you're in those distribution meetings, was their idea or some people's idea of what works for Latino television is, you know, a lineup of telenovelas? I mean, that's what has to be?
I don't think so. I don't think it, you know, everybody, you're dealing with a bunch of smart people. I just don't think they understand it. You know, when you grow up as a modern, I am a modern Latino, so I understand it. I know what I saw and what I didn't see. I know how it affected me and how it didn't affect me. So I'm able to bring that knowledge, and of course my whole family and all of my friends, I'm able to bring that knowledge to it. Say, I want to see this, I don't want to see that. You know, and at the end of the day, art, great television, which you have to have great television these days because television is so cutting edge, is just about making quality, doing quality stories and really making great television, you know? And so that's what I feel we have to concentrate on. This should be a network, not only that draws in all the Latinos, but also anybody. You know, I often think of this movie, The Joy Luck Club, because I remember watching it when I was young and knowing, never having been to the Far East and knowing nothing about the Asian culture in any way, shape, or form, but this movie touched me so much. And I was young at the time. I don't know if you guys remember that movie, but it was by Wayne Wang, who I worked with in Made in Manhattan, and so I knew the movie very well. And it was a great story. You know, it didn't matter that it was about Asians. It didn't matter that it was about that culture. You saw yourself in it. Some story in that movie touched every single person. And that's what I feel great art does. And I think with the Nuvo Network, that's what we want to accomplish. We want to accomplish just great art, great programming that, of course, is targeted toward the modern Latino, but at the end of the day, you know, you will tune into BET, so will I. You will tune into MTV, even though it's for a younger demographic, so will I. You know, it's that, for me, that's the goal.
Do you know yet what the perfect NUVOtv show is? Can you define it right now?
The perfect NUVOtv show?
Yes.
I think it's a lot of different things. I think, honestly, there's going to be so many facets to us, because that's really trying to put us in a box again. And I think that you can. I think that we're very diverse, and I think there's a lot of different things that interest us. One of my wish lists for the thing is to infuse more music. I feel like when you think about networks that were launched and were targeted toward a specific demographic, like a BET or an MTV, like I said, for the younger generation, there was, they drew them in with music first, and then the network grew from there. And I think that we can do that with NUVOtv, so that's one of my things that I'm always kind of, music.
So that begs the question, when will we see you?
Me on TV?
On NUVOtv.
Well, for the launch, there are some programs that I'm involved with, so you're going to see me on probably sooner rather than later. Again, we're just infusing the network right now with energy. This is a long-term project and goal, like any network, Bravo Network, any of these networks. It takes years and years to get it right, but I feel like we're on such a fast track, and we're on such a good, with Bill Hillary now coming on as the head of programming, who worked at Comedy Central and who worked at the BBC, with our new marketing head of marketing, Jenny, we're on the right track already. And this new energy that we infuse for the launch in July is just a taste of where we're going. You'll get the new look, you'll get the new feel, but you know, we want to go into scripted. You know, that's a big thing for me that I push for too, because I feel like one show can launch a network. One amazing show, and we're constantly on the lookout for that.
Now, your production company will sell to NUVOtv. Are you?
Absolutely.
Are you
and everybody else. No.
Okay, so you're not exclusive. Okay. Now, you also, there's some things were announced at the upfront yesterday, or I mean, last month. Was a special involving you was one of them, correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
What will it be?
Well, we're doing this. One of the things that was important to me too with this network was to have some education, let's say, not hit you over the head education, but education in an interesting way. I don't feel like you can go anywhere on TV and get any of our Latino important figures or their history. You know, whether it's politics or comedians or actors or writers or directors or, you know, like I said, political figures, you just, you know, historical figures people who changed things, who had different turning points in their life that led them to a path that was, that wound up being very inspiring or aspirational. And so one of the shows that we're doing is aimed at that, and I'll be the first episode. Ooh. Just because I was available.
Yeah. Now, is there a chance that maybe you'll trade on some relationships and try to woo in some producers to do shows?
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to everybody. You know, I work with CAA and I work with a lot of which is a great agency and has a wealth of writers and directors and obviously actors. But all of my relationships I'm calling on for this because I really do feel like it's an important initiative. I don't want to say initiative, but it's an important, I don't know what the word is. It's just bigger. It's bigger than just a channel.
Of all your accomplishments, where does this rank or where will this rank, especially in terms of your legacy?
Oh, my legacy.
Let's talk about your legacy already.
Already? I don't want to. I want to just, you know, have fun creating the shows. I don't know. I think what I want is for it to be remembered as a place where we gave a home to artists that didn't have a home before, a real place to go and where Latino artists in front of and behind the camera had a place to tell their stories, to tell our stories, and that at the end of the day that we've literally changed the face of television.
I got to ask you, I'm not sure if you even have time to watch television. Are there any shows on TV now that you feel like speak to a modern Latino?
I'm going to have to get back to you on that. The Fosters.
All right, last and most important question. I don't understand. How are you going to balance this with going back to American Idol and saving it?
What?
Yeah.
That's just a rumor.
No saving to be had?
No, not right now. I don't have any announcement to make on that front right now.